So the question is, when will we get over this royal obsession? You cannot go more than a few days without another drama involving the spare heir to the throne and the social ladder climbing champion that is his wife. The recent thing is a spat about bullying involving a charity he set up, and of course, battle lines have been drawn on both sides with followers pro and anti-monarchy clashing in the media. My question is, why do we care about this stuff anymore? I actually don't, and I haven't for a long time. I've never really been pro-monarchy, and as I've gotten older, I've just seen them for what they are. Needless to say, I don't have particularly good opinions of the whole package, but it fascinates me more how some people obsess about the royals and sometimes fixate on a certain individual or couple. Clearly, Harry and Meghan were going to attract a lot of attention for the fact that he basically opted for a showbiz marriage, so I guess drama was always going to ensue, especially when you decide to get married to someone that actually starred in a drama series. We in the UK have gone from a feudal system, topped by kings and queens, to democracy, well, if you can call it that. Yet we still retain the royal framework, albeit in a more ceremonial package and heritage-based. Why? It's not something we need. It's not particularly useful. People say, well, we shouldn't get rid of the monarchy because they bring in loads of tourists. What kind of argument is that? I find it weird to retain these people who are just a symbol of old power, war, and oppression of the common person. Though it is mildly amusing to see them reduced to caricatures, clowns, fools, jesters, just for the world to see and to be entertained by. Maybe that is the use of them nowadays, as a prescient reminder that past power and glory could fade and anyone can ultimately have their position downgraded in a way. If it went just that little bit further, like stripping lands and money, etc., or just abolishing the whole thing, that would be better. Since the invention of television, when you could actually see and hear monarchs and their kin more easily, British people have held a real interest in them, partly to spy on how the elites are and how they live, and retain this sort of strange fascination even to this day. People watched Queen Elizabeth growing up in the age of TV, living out her life in public from a young age. People grew up with her, watching her journey from youthful teenager through coronation all the way through to old lady. Diana came along and stole hearts all over the globe. The tragedy that was her death shook Britain, and whilst looking back, the outpouring of grief was probably a bit much. It was indicative of the esteem that she was held. Randy Andy and Fergie's wedding, his recent spectacular fall from grace, the Charles and Camilla thing that ruined Charles's marriage to Diana. It's been a soap opera which definitely draws some people in. It's things that people can relate to. But the constant barrage of press around Diana's sons, especially the younger one and his bride, is pretty wearisome, bordering on ridiculous. These are people just like us, which is part of the fascination. But they have money, privilege, all of the trappings that go with royalty. It doesn't stop them from being human. We all say, think, and do a variety of things, good and bad, and so do they. When those things might be a bit bad, but said or done by anybody with a connection to or having royal blood, it garners so much attention, it's a wonder why anyone cares anymore. Obviously, column inches, even if it's on ye olde interwebs, still matter. Clicks and views are the name of the game. But is it just all rage bait? Do people genuinely care about Meghan's latest clothing line or Harry's new embarrassing whatever? Who are the people that care? Mostly, I would imagine, more conservative types, definitely not far left, as they'd be the first to go if there was anything approaching what the French left did back in the day. Heads will roll. Conservatives, I know some like tradition, but like everything, it's only worth keeping if there's some benefit. And there's nothing wrong with being patriotic, but that does not have to include royalty. Maybe it's just a generational hangover from the days when it meant more to some and has lessened through the subsequent generations. And if that's the case, then I think we need the hangover cure, please. Is it anti-British to dislike the royals or be anti-monarchy? Is it just so baked into our brains and seared into our system that it's inescapable? Who knows? All I know is that I don't want to talk about these fools a second longer than I need to, so I won't.